Hey everybody, Tracy Monty Smith with SE Coaching here. Just got back from the barn, had to deal with an injured horse, had to deal with a sick horse, so it's a little late around here. I've definitely got my barn hair, my barn look going on here. None of the horses that were affected were mine, thank goodness, but that is something that we do when we're boarding and we're stabling with other people, is we watch out for each other. And so I was really happy to be there, to be able to notice these abnormalities with both of these horses and to let the owners know. So you know, it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a horse, just like it takes a village to raise our kids. And so, you know, we love them. We love them, our own horses, and we love our step horses, which is kind of the way I look at the rest of the beasties at the barn. So just wanted to give you a quick update as to why this is the look going on today. But what I really came on here to talk about was, you know, we've been doing so much work around fear, and we've been doing so much work around courage, and what all that means to step into that courage, and what the fear means in identifying it and being able to step into the courage to work to the capability and the confidence to lead us into this next better version of ourselves, and where that all, how that all falls together. And that something that I've really become very aware of is that fear is the message around what is going on with our lives, what needs to have attention, what we need to pay attention to. And so when we're fearful about something, that's a really big message that we really want to pay attention to and figure out what's really going on there and dig deep into what it is. But one of my favorite ways to not listen to fear, to not pay attention to my emotions, is avoidance. I am the master at avoidance because it's really easy for me to pretend that this isn't going on, right? To pretend that I'm not afraid, or to pretend, or to absolutely ignore the fact that I'm afraid. And you know, last week I got personal in talking about one of particular of my fears around being on video, around putting myself out there. And one of my main go-to tactics when it comes time to make videos is avoidance. You know, there's always some reason why I can't do a video right now. There's always some reason that, you know, my hair's not perfect, or I don't have my makeup on, or I don't have the outline done of what I want to say, or the laundry needs to be done. Whatever it is, avoidance is a really easy one for me to slip into. And with avoidance, comes also very natural for me around the avoidance is to slip into buffering. And my go-to buffering is, it's really easy for me to convince myself that I deserve to sit down and watch Netflix. Netflix is my buffering of choice. For some people it's food, for some people it's alcohol, for some people it's work, for some people it's working out, you know, whatever that is. But that buffering is usually a secondary tactic because it's part of your avoidance tactic, right? So what I really want to encourage everybody, including myself, because I listen to these videos too, believe it or not, is to learn to avoid avoidance. Because in avoiding that avoidance, we're not stepping into that power, we're not stepping into that courage. And for me, a ton of avoidance came up around my divorce. And looking back on it and having worked through some of it, I really realized that, boy, avoidance was my go-to after my divorce. It was really easy to slip into avoidance. You know, some of my favorite ones were, let's see. My ex always took care of changing the oil in the car. And so my avoidance tactic to that was, I don't even know who to call. I don't know where to go. I don't know what kind of oil goes in it. So I'll just wait till next week. You know, maybe the little light will go off, right? But my avoidance of that was an avoidance of judgment. My fear was around being judged by other people because I didn't know what kind of oil it needed. I didn't know how to have that conversation. I didn't know the correct words to have with the oil change guy, right? So another one for me was going out and doing stuff on my own was horribly fearful for me. And, whether it was going to a movie by myself, going to get lunch by myself, and sitting at a table for one. That was just brought a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear for me. And so my avoidance was that, you know what, I'll just wait till it comes out on Netflix, right? Netflix avoidance. Oh, just made that connection. So it's really easy to step into avoidance. But when I finally realized that I was doing it, when I finally realized that, hey, I am by myself now, I need to step into this courage and take care of this, or I'm never going to leave the house again. And I have 2 children, and I have to leave the house, and I have to be able to take care of my car, and I have to be able to go out and do things on my own. So once I realized that and recognized the fact that I was making all of these excuses, and those excuses were my avoidance technique, avoidance of that fear. Once I realized that and I stepped into it and I owned it, that's when I found the courage. Remember that courage we talked about last week? That's when I found the courage. And I went to the movie. Okay, I went to the early movie. First of all, it was cheaper. And second of all, I didn't have to watch everybody that was there on their date night, right? I went to the oil change place. I dug out an old invoice and I took it and I showed it to him. And I really remember this one because I dug deep into my fear and vulnerability that day. And I admitted that I was newly divorced and that my husband usually took care of this. And you know what? They didn't laugh at me, at least not to my face. They didn't talk down to me. They didn't make me feel like I was an idiot. I didn't feel any judgment from them. But that's what I was avoiding. That's what I was afraid of, was a judgment. And you know what? When I stepped into my power and stepped into my courage, it didn't happen. That judgment didn't happen. So I'm going to keep this short because last week's was a little longer, but notice the fears, find the courage, or notice the avoidance or whatever tactic it is that you have around your fear so that you're not dealing with it. Ask yourself the questions we've been asking for all month long. What is it that you're really afraid of? What would you be doing right now if you weren't afraid? And how would your life be different if you didn't have this fear anymore? Those are the 3 big questions. Ask them to yourselves because that's how you find the courage. Once you find the courage, you become capable of doing whatever it is you're afraid of going to get the oil changed in your car. And you know what? Once you've done that a few times and you've been capable, now you're confident. Now it's not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal for me to go and get the oil changed in my car because I'm confident and it's no longer a fear. It's no longer a fear. So take those steps, find the fear, find out what your technique is for not owning up to the fear. Ask yourself the 3 questions, step into your courage, find your capability, and come out the other side in confidence. That's what it's all about. So I hope the last few weeks talking about fear and courage and capability and confidence has helped you in some way to recognize all of these tactics that we all have, right? And that's really the basis of all of this, is recognizing and being aware of it so that you can start to do something about it. So next week, we're going to get to meet another one of the horses. Yay, we're going to meet Simon. I'm super excited about that. I love being able to share my horse coaches with you. Spent the day out in the barn with him today. He's super fuzzy because it's winter time and it's cold. And but boy, his personality was really shining through tonight. I'm so excited for you guys to meet him next week. So until next week, have a great life. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.